Welcome to Besties and Bubbles.
Welcome, Kimmy.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. So,
yes, thank you.
I think what we're going to be talking about today is actually something you've either fixed already or you might want to fix, because there's so many positive things that come along with addressing this issue. So you're going to have to look inside. What do you think?
Look inside.
Do you agree with me?
Look deep inside. I do. I think it's going to be something that is going to be interesting for our friends as Gen Xers, because I think it's something that we either have recognized or don't recognize, but when we start talking about it,
it's going to come up.
think it's going to be like a ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Right?
And we're going to give you some very good, like, a couple different things at the end for you to do a little assessment of yourself. And I think this is men and women. It can be young, it can be older people, but it also, I think it does change as you mature. I think you just care less about what people think, and that's what we're going to talk about. Living unbothered and not caring what other people think about you.
Yeah.
There's books on this, there's podcasts on this, there's people that just study this. You know what I mean? So it's an issue.
Yeah. So I do agree with you on that. And I guess the biggest thing for us is why do we care so much?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why?
And it obviously different for other, but I think at our age, I think we were raised to care about what other people think. I remember growing up, we had to wear dresses to church on Sunday morning.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, right.
God doesn't care what I came in. It was because our parents thought it was perceived that that's what you should do, and other people would be judging us if we did. Like, I mean, they instilled that in us.
I don't disagree. I think there are a lot of things that we grew up with, just, the way you dressed, the way you spoke, the way you approach people. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either.
All the time.
As children, right? Because there is a certain amount of respect, right? When you are growing up, that I feel you need to show
towards adults, but they weren't always right. And I remember feeling like the adults were always right. And I think our kids do not think that all adults are right.
Well, I think we grew up with never questioning authority.
You don't question authority.
Right? And I think
talking back to a teacher and stuff like that was never, that did not fly.
No.
Right.
And I will say, I still agree with that to a certain aspect today, meaning in public, right? If you have something to say to someone, it's not necessarily to embarrass them, right? Like, there's always this old adage of, I remember hearing, don't fight in front of the kids, right? And so if you, as being adults, like let's be clear, this is not children, this is adults, right? If you have something to say, take it to the back, not in front of the kids. Let's not talk about this at the family dinner table or what have you. As adults, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I think our age is getting better at it. And the older I get, I think I'm getting better at it. But I also know a lot of ridiculously immature people my age that still don't quite get it.
Yeah.
But we do know that there is a freedom when you just don't give a
crats.
When you don't care what other people think.
Yes.
And you don't care if you're being judged or not, or if your lifestyle is what other people think it should be. There's a freedom in that. And that is a reason why you should consider changing the way that you feel about that.
I don't disagree. I think that as we get older, our confidence increases.
Yes.
Right? So even if we don't
hopefully, because you could have something go on in your life, that knocks your confidence. Look at people that get divorced and they don't think, and they think it's all their fault, and you know what I mean?
Well, this is true. But I think it's confidence and it's maturity.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Actually, either one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, one may coincide with the other or it may not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do agree with that. But like, have you been in a situation where, maybe something's been said or you've been like presented or confronted with a situation where you're just like, I don't have the time, I don't have the
Yeah.
energy, I don't even want to put in the thought process to
Sure.
even respond, react, or whatever. And how did it make you feel?
Well, I agree that I want to say I don't care what people think, right? But I know when I do care about people think and I give them that energy, then that is very heavy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I don't need to be involved in things,
Right,
And I
right.
think that I really think that you can get burned out from having too many people put too many things on your plate, But and the
Yes,
opposite
absolutely.
is
Yes,
setting boundaries
yes.
and actually saying no to things, right? And that's again protecting your peace, right? Protecting your
I agree
time
with
and
that.
that, and you don't care that that person is upset that you can't help or volunteer or whatever it is, but it's like this is what you're doing for you, and
Right.
I think that that's okay to do.
Do you feel that the older you get, that by that there's certain people though, because we're talking about boundaries and protecting our
Yes.
peace and so forth,
Yes.
and not necessarily catering or pleasing everyone, but do you still feel there are those people that you do care? What
Well, I
what
care what my kids think,
well, right.
and I care what my friends think, and I hope that if I'm all of a sudden I take up a horrible habit, I hope that my friends sit me down and I care what they think,
Yeah.
you know,
So we're talking
when it's like a safety or a
a
bad habit.
larger, a
I
macro.
I don't know. I think I would say in every situation, Kimmy, honestly, because like, as a realtor, I care what my,
You
I'm in,
care what your
I,
clients
I'm,
think,
yes, and
of
I'm in a service industry.
course.
So I
Right.
care what I put on social media because, I want to be perceived a certain way. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Not poorly, right? Because I'm in a service industry and that's how I
Yeah.
attract
Yeah.
clients, right?
Yeah.
Do you
I
care what masses think about you?
I do not care what the masses think about me.
Really?
No. The masses, no.
Do you care what your boss thinks about you?
I mean, I yes, I do.
Okay. Your family,
I care
yes.
about my family.
Your children.
My
Do you care what I think about you?
spouse. Of course, I care what you think about me. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about living unbothered, but there's still going to be those most important people
Yes, but
to us.
those are the people that love you and care about you.
Correct. But
Yeah.
this is the masses. It's not even the masses. It's probably that next level, right? About the people that you really do care about the most. Like, do you? I don't. I don't know. Do you care what that second level thinks?
Um, I I'm going to use you and I'm going to say it does depend on the situation, but that's why we're doing this because I think there is some kind of gray area. And as long as you're a happy person and you are protecting your peace and you have set boundaries, then I think it's okay to do care a little bit. The problem is when you care too much and you seek all this validation and you're such a
Yes.
people pleaser and all that that is completely unhealthy. And like I said, there's books written, there's podcasts. Like we're not
Yes.
making this up. It's unhealthy to just be so caught up in what other people think.
So, what are some, I don't know, either signs or triggers or things that like we actually are still seeking validation
Yes,
from
seeking
others,
validation is huge.
right?
Yeah. So what they said is if you're replaying conversations in your head, then you are most likely thinking, did I say this right? What did they
Or I
think
should
of
have said
me?
this,
Should I have done this? All that
right?
kind of stuff, right? Now, all conversations, but and like, again, there's healthy validation, right?
Right.
If you just went on a job interview and you're rethinking, like, how did I present myself? That's healthy, right? But if everything that every conversation you're replaying that,
right.
again,
or if you went like on a first date, or what, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know about that, but
was I replaying everything in my head?
No, but I'm just saying in general, like a first interview, a first date, a first encounter, and meeting someone. Did I say the right thing?
Right. So I do think that there is something healthy, but that is a sign that you're seeking validation. Some situations warrant validation.
True.
Being hired, a good presentation, or something, a performance, all that kind of stuff. And then there's other situations you should just not care. You shouldn't care.
Okay.
Because it's not healthy, right? Okay, no. What's another way?
I agree. Like,
what's another way that you would know if you're constantly seeking validation?
Okay, what if you have an opinion about something and then you change that opinion?
That means that you're seeking validation.
Does it?
I think in politics it happens all the time.
Well, okay, let's put politics aside.
Okay, but anything pressing that's not any kind of decision, I really think that if you change your opinion based on who you're talking to, that means you're always seeking validation.
Okay.
Those people you're not being honest with. You know exactly how I stand.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So you're saying if you are in some social setting.
Yes.
It doesn't even have to be with friends either, but whatever.
Oh, anything.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
And someone says something and you have an opinion, and you
just change your opinion to be like everybody else.
You just change your opinion, or maybe you just give a nod or whatever.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Okay.
The other thing is if you're always constantly seeking reassurance. Did I do this right? Was that okay? Oh. You're seeking validation if you're always asking those questions.
What about if you just apologize all the time? Like, I'm so sorry.
Same thing.
I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry I said this.
Because you might, if you're really not sorry, but you just say that all the time. Sorry, not sorry. That's probably where it came from.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean.
But what experts will say is if you're constantly apologizing, even though you don't really feel sorry for something, then that's just you wanting to seek validation from that person.
Okay.
And that's not healthy. You probably shouldn't care.
Right. What about
probably shouldn't care.
Well, that's the operative word. Probably.
Also, if you can't make decisions alone.
I was just going to say that.
They say that if you can't make decisions alone, and you always have to have somebody have somebody confirm that this is the right decision, then you probably care too much about what other people think.
Okay.
You're not living unbothered. You're just constantly saying, you're not saying, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. That's confidence, right?
It's
the opposite.
Like, are you okay with this? Should I do this?
Right.
What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It would probably be the same thing about wanting, what about seeking compliments? Like, oh my gosh, didn't I do such a great job?
Yeah.
Did you see me? Wasn't I great?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
you were, but that's okay. But if you didn't really care, you wouldn't ask.
No, all right, that's true. And I think social media has made it crazy because now you can turn, when you post something, well, I don't know on every platform, but I know in our platform, you can turn off the number of likes and comments and things like that. But I think it's a problem with our kids because they've always had social media. They've had the internet.
Yeah.
But even for us, what that does when you get a like or a nice comment or, something like that. Now, we're not doing this necessarily because we want to feel validated,
No.
But it is nice if we get a like or a comment. But if you are constantly seeking that and that makes you feel a certain kind of way, then you probably want to evaluate, if it's healthy. Again, if it's healthy.
Yes. No, I agree.
Because living unbothered really is not just saying, I'm going to be rude to everybody and I don't really care. It's not that. I'm going to live my life the way I know I'm going to be the best person and the best version of myself and this and that. And I'm not going to care what other people think. Like if they're going to judge us because we always wear black.
Right. Or
you have black and white on today.
I do. I do.
Or they don't like our background, or you know what I mean? Like we shouldn't care about that. We're doing what we're doing because we know
we want to.
Because we want to, but also we actually have heard from people that feel like what we're doing has value.
Well, it's identifiable.
Yes.
Which then turns into value.
Absolutely.
Right? So
ooh, that was good, Kim. That was a good little phrase you just said right there. Yes. It is.
So yeah,
but we want to encourage people to also what I think it's brave, and we've actually had people say that, So because we came up with this crazy idea,
well, right, to do a podcast,
and then did it.
Yeah, we did it.
I don't think that either one of us really we wake up and are like living like, oh, do people really like it and this and that? No, I think we're doing what we want to do. And if we have 2 people listening, then, hey, that's better than one.
That's right. Absolutely.
Right? Isn't it true? But that's our mindset.
Right.
And I hope that our friends have that mindset of what they want to do, right? If they want to start singing, or if they want to go on a limb and start a new business, or you know what I mean? Whatever it is,
yes,
that confidence and that drive, sometimes you just shouldn't really care what other people think.
Well, I agree with that, and we've always said we are not experts; we're experienced, and I truly believe that because us Gen Xers, we're halfway there, living on a prayer.
I hope I am more than halfway.
I love Bon Jovi. Anyway,
at 55, I hope I'm more than halfway.
But I guess.
Oh wait, I'm still 54.
But the whole point, you are. But the whole point of this is what we started with, which was living unbothered.
Yes.
Right? And it really is to just say that, you know what? It's okay to do things because you want to do them. It's okay to say no, right? It's okay it's okay to say no.
You don't have to say, exactly. You don't have to say yes to everything just to please people.
Right. And to be honest, I think our friends that are younger than us also don't have to say yes to everything too.
For sure.
Right?
Well, it's just I think it's anyone. And the earlier you learn that, the more freedom, the more confidence you have.
I think it's also, think about us. We've talked about raising our kids, right? Our children are adults, almost adults. Owen's almost there.
Owen's so close.
He's so close. But, as much as we love our kids, and we do love our kids, right? And we've talked about raising adult kids and challenging kids and so forth. They may say or do things that, we don't necessarily agree with. And we may want to take that, control, momager, whatever we want to say, into hand. And maybe we just kind of go, well, we're just gonna let them do their own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to live a life where you don't have to keep apologizing to make somebody else happy. I think it's healthy to, if you have haters, and I'm sure I got a few.
I'm sure I have a few too.
I don't think Kimmy does, but I'm sure in my lifetime I've racked up a few. But I don't care I don't accept that energy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that makes me a happier person. I think it makes me a more confident person. And I think it makes me protect my peace. That's what I would agree. And I would encourage other people to not only assess who you feel like you're trying to people please all the time, but also to have enough courage to try something that's maybe new, like a podcast, right? With your bestie and Bubbles, and not worry about being judged, because I can't live my life worried about what other people that aren't important to me care about what I do.
I would agree. I would agree, friend, wholeheartedly.
And I think it's really important because we live in this social media society with the likes and the comments and the shares and all
Yeah,
this kind of stuff where we can get too caught up in it. And I really worry for our children
I
that
do
have
too.
had nothing but that in their life, where they're counting the likes and all that kind of stuff. Strangers, who cares what strangers think of you?
I would agree. I mean,
You're so agreeable today, Kimmy. I love
I
it.
am agreeable, but and it's not to say, we're talking about living unbothered, and so I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I do agree on a lot of what we're talking about today, right? It's to live your life. I do feel though there is that certain sense of respect for elders, right?
Yeah,
So
and
we
that's
all
okay.
and we all do things that we don't necessarily want to do, but when it comes to respect in your family and your elders, I just, you kind of got to do some of those things.
I think that that's fair, but the people that don't have a vote in your life, you should not be trying to please.
Ooh, I like that phrase.
Ooh,
People who don't have a vote in your life.
if you're not paying my mortgage, you got nothing to say. Well, yeah. So it's a topic that comes up because I think we think that the older we get, hopefully, the less we care about what other people think, and that allows a little bit more freedom in your life. You look at older people.
Well, there's zero filters.
It just happens.
They just say whatever's on their mind.
Ugh,
It doesn't matter who they offend.
why? I think it's
'Cause-
somewhat
'cause
medical,
they don't-
isn't it?
They don't care.
Oh, well, maybe that's it. But
Or they don't. They don't.
It's a
maybe
trend.
the brain
It's a
doesn't
trend.
process
It's a
it. I don't
trend
know.
as you get older, for sure.
Yes.
But the earlier you see it, the earlier you recognize it. Stop caring about what people that mean nothing to you care about you.
And that truly is the key.
That's
the key, friend.
If they don't mean anything to you,
if they don't mean anything to you,
don't care what don't worry about what they think.
Stop.
Or if they could judge you or just, and live unbothered.
I love it. Live unbothered. That's such a I feel it's like a friendly thing to say. Live unbothered.
It's a what?
It's a friendly
Friendly?
thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's friendly.
I think it's something.
Live
Yeah.
unbothered. So
Maybe I'll get that tattooed on me.
Maybe not.
Maybe I should seek some validation from my friend before I get a tattoo.
Maybe so.
All right.
Anyway.
Let us know if this resonated with you. It definitely, I think we kind of already live unbothered, but we have examples in our life where we have learned and we're kind of like on the other side of it. So
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I do agree.
But I don't know that everybody's there.
Right. And we did feel that this was important to bring up.
Yes, because I think there's so much freedom when you can be more confident in a life that you live without having to apologize all the time or seek the likes and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot of freedom in it. So, all right, well, tell us what you think. Kimmy concurs.
I concur.
I love the word concur. All right. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
We love you.
Go to our Facebook page and tell me what you think because we want to answer you there.
Like and follow us, please.
Oh, please like and follow us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We do care about what our listeners.
I mean,
we do. We do. Absolutely. All right, cheers.